unrivaled. If y'all thought a few million and some equity was going to get her to show up and play in your league, you got another thing coming. I said it. If Unrivaled want Caitlin Clark, y'all, a minimum of 10 million plus like 50% ownership of the whole league. That's where we start. That's the starting negotiation point. I might have undersold her, y'all. I might have undersold. It is a lot going on in the world of Caitlin Clark. New sponsorships to the left, new deals to the right. It's a lot going on. We are gonna get to every. Oh, that's a boss move. Oh, that's a crazy boss move. That's a flex. Hey, listen, I understand. You got Nike deals. You got freaking PGA Golf Tour, Live Golf Tour. You got hockey sponsor. I know you got a lot going on, but to turn down 15.
It's pure chaos right now in the world of Caitlin Clark. Sponsorships flying from every direction, Nike deals stacked on the table, major brands lining up with blank checks, golf tours, hockey sponsors. You name it, she's got it. But then comes the shocker, the kind of move nobody saw coming. Caitlin Clark staring straight at a record-breaking $50 million contract, a deal designed to lock her down as the face of the WNBA, and with the entire league holding its breath expecting a yes, she does the unthinkable. She shrugs, looks the commissioner in the eye, and says, "No, I'm good." And in that moment, the entire basketball world implodes. Fans erupting online, haters foaming at the mouth, and the league itself scrambling like it just watched its golden ticket slip straight through its hands. This isn't just a contract rejection, it's a full-blown earthquake shaking the entire foundation of women's basketball, and trust me, nobody, not the fans, not the sponsors, not even the commissioner herself, was ready for this level of rejection. Before we even break down how this rejection set the internet on fire, you've got to understand the scale of what just happened. For years, WNBA players have celebrated contracts worth maybe $15 million, and that's usually stretched out over an entire decade. The kind of money that sounds big on paper, but barely moves the needle in reality. Now fast forward to Caitlin Clark. She's not just some rookie, she's the face of an entire era. A walking highlight reel who can sell out arenas before she even laces up her shoes. So when Ice Cube publicly throws $15 million at her for just 10 games, that's already insane. And then when the league itself comes in with an unheard of $50 million deal, it looks like the crown jewel of women's sports history. Everyone thought this was the moment the WNBA secured its future. But Caitlin Clark flipped the script. Instead of clutching at the offer like a lifeline, she casually pushed it back across the table, leaving the entire league stunned, like someone just unplugged the lights in the middle of their biggest show. This is where the chaos really begins, because the WNBA didn't just make an offer, they built this moment up like the grand finale of a blockbuster movie. Months of planning, negotiations, and hype, all leading to this historic contract reveal. And when the commissioners slid that record-shattering $50 million deal across the table, they expected fireworks, confetti, maybe even tears of joy. But instead, Caitlin Clark didn't even blink. She just shrugged it off and calmly said, "No thanks." And that single word was like lighting a fuse under the entire league. Fans went into meltdown mode, haters exploded online, and suddenly the whole thing looked less like a sports contract negotiation and more like a full-blown reality. Television disaster. The league went nuclear in a way that nobody saw coming. And the craziest part is, this was only the beginning of the storm Caitlin Clark had just unleashed. To really understand why Caitlin Clark's rejection shook the sports world to its core, you've got to rewind to her meteoric rise. Because this isn't just about a contract, it's about a phenomenon. Back in college, she was casually pulling up from what felt like the parking lot, draining logo threes with defenders looking helpless. Arenas were sold out every single night. Fans weren't just showing up. They were begging for tickets, cramming into every venue just to witness the show. She wasn't a star, she was a full-blown cultural event. The kind of player who made casual fans tune in like it was March Madness every single game. So by the time she stepped onto a WNBA court, Caitlin wasn't just a rookie, she was an economy on two legs. Ticket prices skyrocketed. Merchandise flew off the shelves, and suddenly every game looked like a Taylor Swift concert without the friendship bracelets. That's the kind of gravity she carried, and that's exactly why the league thought their $50 million deal was a guaranteed slam dunk. But Caitlin Clark just showed them she's playing on a completely different level. And this is where it gets even crazier, because that $50 million offer wasn't just about money, it was desperation disguised as generosity. It was the WNBA practically screaming, "Please, Caitlin, don't leave us. We need you more than air." They rolled out the biggest check in league history, hoping to tie her down before other opportunities swallowed her whole. But Caitlin didn't just say no. She delivered a rejection so powerful, it felt like a nuclear shutdown. Imagine the commissioner planning it like the ultimate marriage proposal, fireworks ready, the cameras rolling, the crowd holding its breath. And then, instead of a yes, Caitlin calmly shuts it all down in front of the world. And here's the kicker. She didn't even need that deal because endorsements from Nike, Gatorade, and State Farm already have her sitting on numbers far bigger than 50 million. She's making more smiling in commercials and hitting logo threes than the league could ever pay her. So when she said no, it wasn't just a contract rejection. It was a power move, a reminder to everyone that Caitlin Clark doesn't need the WNBA. The WNBA desperately needs her. The fallout was instant. Fans split down the middle like a championship rivalry. Half of them praising Caitlin as a genius who knew her worth, while the other half branded her reckless. Sports media spun it like a Wall Street crash mixed with a royal scandal. Headlines screaming that she might have just destroyed the WNBA before it could even secure its future. And honestly, the league had to ask itself the same question, because without Caitlin, the WNBA risks slipping back into irrelevance. Fighting for airtime between late-night bowling reruns and cornhole tournaments, that $50 million wasn't a gift, it was insurance. It was the league's lifeline, and Clark proved she doesn't need their safety net. She flipped the entire power dynamic in one breathtaking move, like Netflix begging Taylor Swift for a special, only for her to laugh and say, "I made more selling vinyl last week." The league thought they were in control, but Caitlin just showed the world she's holding all the cards, and she's not afraid to play them. Picture the WNBA boardroom in the hours after Caitlin Clark's rejection. Executives pacing like their entire careers just went up in smoke, phones buzzing nonstop, social media managers in full panic mode, flooding timelines with highlight reels, hashtags, and motivational quotes trying to shift the narrative. But the damage was already done, because Caitlin's move wasn't just a no, it was an unapologetic flex that turned the league inside out. Suddenly, the commissioner is replaying that moment at 3 a.m. like a nightmare loop, wondering how their dream deal became a disaster live on stage. And here's the truth. Caitlin doesn't even need to explain herself. Her silence is the answer. Her presence alone is worth more than any check they can write. And every player in that locker room knows it. They're taking notes, realizing maybe they have more power than they've been told. The commissioner thought they were making history, but Caitlin made it crystal clear. History now runs through her, and the league is just trying to keep up. The internet, of course, had an absolute field day. Memes flying faster than fast breaks. Edits of the commissioner sweating at press conferences with captions like, "When you realize your entire business model depends on a two-year-old." Fake WNBA ads popping up with lines like, "Please, Caitlin, we'll even throw in free snacks for life," and every single one going viral, because desperation is the easiest thing to clown online. But beneath the comedy was a brutal reality. Caitlin Clark wasn't just playing basketball anymore, she was playing chess while the league was fumbling with checkers, and that rejection turned her into the most powerful figure in women's sports overnight. She didn't just walk away from $50 million, she exposed how fragile the league's foundation really is, proving that without her, the WNBA looks less like a thriving business and more like a brand built on borrowed time. And now every headline, every debate show, every trending topic has one name at the center, Caitlin Clark. The fans split into two fiery camps, and the divide was louder than any arena crowd. On one side, you had people calling Caitlin Clark ungrateful, a diva, even a sellout who disrespected the league that gave her a platform. But let's be real, the WNBA didn't make Caitlin Clark, Caitlin Clark made the league matter. Before her, their highlights were buried in obscurity. After her, arenas started filling, ratings spiked, and casual fans suddenly knew the WNBA even existed. On the other side, her supporters were calling her brilliant, a visionary who understood her value better than anyone. Why lock yourself into years of grinding travel and physical punishment when endorsements and branding can triple the money without breaking a sweat? This wasn't arrogance, it was awareness, it was power, and it was a wake-up call for every athlete watching. One contract rejection became a revolution, and with Caitlin at the center, the WNBA had no choice but to face the fact that the balance of power had shifted forever. At the end of the day, Caitlin Clark didn't just reject a contract, she redefined the entire power structure of women's basketball. $50 million looked like the crown jewel, but to her, it was loose change, and in one swift move, she reminded everyone that the WNBA needs Caitlin Clark far more than Caitlin Clark will ever need the WNBA. She showed every athlete that leverage is worth more than gratitude. She turned down what others would call a once-in-a-lifetime deal, and in the process became bigger than the league itself. Now, every game she plays, every viral highlight, every endorsement deal is another reminder that she holds all the cards. The commissioner can't spin it, the boardroom can't fix it, and the fans can't deny it. Caitlin Clark owns the future, and the WNBA is just trying to survive in her shadow.